This is Sky News Weather, online at skyweather.com.au. This is a severe weather alert.
Record-breaking heat is moving across South Australia. There have been close to 10 records already set in South Australia today, including Adelaide Airport, Port Lincoln, Stenhouse Bay, Roseworthy and Snowtown. So Adelaide itself has not quite got to that record, but this is the Adelaide Airport site here at 44.2 degrees, which is a new record, and records date back more than 55 years. Temperatures have also been exceptionally hot in quite a few other places. Port Augusta to 47, Kingscote to 41, and in Mount Gambier 40 degrees. But you can see through Victoria, not quite as hot as South Australia, and in Western New South Wales it's still hitting up above 40 degrees day in and day out at the moment. But in northern parts of South Australia it's also head up into the mid-40s, and it's going to be getting up around 46, 47, maybe even 48 degrees in parts of the north of the state, challenging records in the next hour or two. So we'll keep an eye on that. But temperatures across the nation at this point in time, it's pretty hot through the centre in Alice Springs. It's cool in Perth, only sitting at 18 degrees at the moment, whilst Hobart 21. So a bit of warmth in parts of Tasmania, but it's definitely going to be warmer tomorrow. Let's have a think about the advice from the SES for people in South Australia during this heat wave. Stay indoors when possible, carry a water bottle, use fans and air conditioning, and do not leave pets or children alone in cars, as that could be very dangerous and troublesome. In terms of that heat and where it's moving and what it's doing, well, it's going to be lingering on through the afternoon. We will see a cool change pushing on through with that cold front there, but that won't be arriving in Adelaide till the middle of the night. It looks quite weak, so not a major cool change there. We'll see proper cooling as we move through tomorrow. But with that heat, we've got severe to extreme fire danger across much of South Australia today. So anywhere shaded red is looking at that extreme fire danger. But the fire threat continues as we move into tomorrow. The heat will focus into Victoria and Tasmania. And so those regions, we could be seeing record temperatures set in either of those states as well, just like we've seen in South Australia. And with that, we've got elevated fire danger, severe fire danger for much of southeastern parts of Tasmania, and severe and even extreme fire danger in parts of Victoria. And some of this may get updated later this afternoon or upgraded to maybe even some extreme fire danger in parts of Tasmania, because the fire threat is really going to be elevated in Tasmania as we move through tonight into tomorrow as well, because the winds are really picking up tonight for Tasmania. Here's some facts about Tasmania. 55,000 hectares have already been burnt, and firefighters are battling 720 kilometres of fire fronts, and new fires will push the Tasmanian Fire Service to the limit. And so it's going to be a really dangerous next 48 hours in Tasmania in particular. This is where we've got a whole series of watch and acts in place, many locations including that, particularly around the Great Pine Tier Fire. This fire, since Wednesday morning, has tripled in size, from 6,500 hectares to close to 19,000 hectares. And so watch and acts are currently in place for Shannon, Todd's Corner, Lyweenie, Penstock Lagoon, Myena and Barron Tier. And for the Lynch Hill Fire in the west of the state, it's up around the Pyman Road area. So all of these areas, we're anticipating these fires to turn into emergency warnings as we move through tomorrow, as it's going to be a really dangerous situation. In fact, that's even a possibility this afternoon. Temperatures for today, it's warming up into the afternoon, just a little bit more, particularly in the south of the state, over the inland areas, but the winds will really ramp up as we move through tomorrow. So we'll keep a close eye on that here at Sky News Weather, that's for sure. But this is what it has been looking like already on the Central Plateau, with a huge fire blazing and huge amounts of smoke. Elsewhere, up in the far north, we've got Tropical Cyclone Riley that has formed. It's slowly tracking west, and it's not likely to interact with the Australian mainland. So that is some good news, but we'll keep a close eye on that. You can see it's currently a Category 1 system, tracking further west, and there are no watch and acts or warnings in place at this stage, and we do not anticipate them to develop. But as you can see, it should be strengthening as it tracks further west into Category 2, maybe even Category 3. Meanwhile, in Queensland, we don't have a tropical cyclone there, but we've got a tropical low, and that's bringing monsoon rain down through the tropics of Queensland. So there's a severe weather warning currently in place for heavy rainfall and also damaging winds as well. You can see the rain is starting to increase across the north, and the warning extends as far south as about Port Augusta. Not quite to Cairns yet, but it may in coming days.